up a little bit. Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? I'm going to take a multifaceted approach to finishing this hatchet. And this hatchet, I need to make a new cover for it. This is the old cover. I don't think I can probably, wow, this is cold. This glove's cold, man. Cold out here. I don't think I can kind of maybe retrofit this. Maybe it's possible. Kind of nice to make a new one though, you know. At the very least, I would have to shorten that strap and put a new button on. Maybe that's what should be done. But for now, I think what we need to do is actually grind the tip and get the tip shape in order. We're going to make this like a chisel tip here. I don't know if I mind the English. I'm going to try to just square it off. It's so cold out here, it doesn't overheat as fast. It's crazy. I can't really see how I'm doing, so, and it looks like the chat. It's kind of hard to see too, so give me 1 second, I'll check the chat. Get in there. Get in there, get in there. Give it a dip here, just to keep it cool. Keeping an eye on it, make sure it don't turn yellow on me or anything like that. It's actually kind of anyway, how's everybody doing? Wow, Eric, welcome. This is going to be a hatchet used for removing bark for tanning. Oh, I don't want that discoloration there. I don't want that. That's not good. Oh, don't do that, man. Do as I say. Gotta go slower. See how deep I did that. Who we got here today? Rob, what's up, man? What's up? wasn't doing very good on this side, keeping that cool. Once I get this kind of like, I'm wanting this like a chisel tip. This is going to be like a little bark hewing type hatchet here. And I want to keep some of the mass too. Like, since I don't have a lot of length, I want to keep mass, you know. So welcome. Double tap that screen. Right now we're finishing up this handmade hatchet. It's pretty cold out here right now in the shop. Excessively cold, actually. It's getting very cold quickly too. If you were here a couple days ago, we sewed on this squirrel hide as the handle. So it's a pretty from scratch hatchet here. You might call it a from scratch it. Like that. Trying to dip it. I got a water bowl down here. I'm dipping it in to try to keep it kind of relatively cool. I'm going to try to make this a little more graceful, this curve. Maybe a little bit, maybe. I don't like this wheel for that though. Round it over there a bit. All right. And then we're going to wet form a actual sheath for this with leather that I made here in Dad's workshop. So welcome. Glad to have you here. Looks like there's a little divot down there. I must have missed that somehow. I might have to get that with a file. Kind of want a little concave type thing going on. See what I did over here. Good, good, good. All right, shut that down. Oh yes, how did the handle leather dry out? Well, not a lot because I've been treating it with I put brain juice and stuff on there yesterday. So how you do this? You gotta put your hand behind it. Heather taught me the trick to this. That's the baseball stitch. All right. So it's not dried out a lot because I put brain emulsion on it yesterday. You all see that? Here you go. From scratch it. Make it a hatchet from scratch it. See, I don't actually mind using those wheels when they're kind of slow, especially when I'm starting to do this, which is like wind down how much crude cutting I want to do. Oh, that didn't just unplug, did it? It sure did. Let's do this. Since I don't feel like going all the way under the bench and plugging it in at the moment. There's a couple spots I want to get with the actual. Oh, oh, woodchucker! You didn't think that was really my car full of bags of gasoline, did you? I sent a bunch of friends pictures of a trunk full of bags of gasoline. I said they were out of gas cans, but it was just a joke, man. I don't know. And that's messed up because I didn't get back to my phone. So Caleb's probably calling uh, like the Virginia, North Carolina State Police on me. Little imperfections on it. I'm trying to just yeah, actually the handle color darkened too. The ebonizing got more mature after the grinding of the head yesterday a bit. So I'm trying to just graduate or like basically, you know, round off this angle a bit here without taking too much material off because I don't really want to remove any more material that much on the back. I'm gonna have to here. So I'll plug in the angle grinder here in a second. And then there's a spot under here where kind of I might have to zoom to get that. It's oh yeah, well I know that man. It is it is ridiculously though I do think now that maybe two idiots equal a person because somebody had it in plastic totes in their trunk, which is also dangerous. And I'm not recommending that you do this, but if you were to combine the bags and the plastic totes, you might have something in a pinch. You know? No, we put our gasoline in. We put our gasoline in approved containers around here. I can't say the same for Mike is making stuff. I'm just kidding. Mike is making stuff. He uses approved containers too. The little divot down here at the bottom of the blade is kind of in a bad spot. Man. Bandsaw, what you call it? Belt sander would be good to work right now, but I had an issue with it last time. I'm gonna have to pull it out, take a look at it. Yeah, got to be honest. Saturday afternoon is not when I usually go live, guys. I put it off a long time. I kind of usually. Ooh, I took that. Came off roughly. I usually do Saturday mornings. I try to do it mornings all the time. So it's not really YouTube's fault if it don't hit like the algorithm like that. And so what I'm trying to do with this axe is I'm actually trying to ooh, I gotta talk some shit though first. I gotta talk some shit first. Just general trash talk. General tea spilling. Like here's the type of person that I am, dude. I'm the type of person that if that I was taught to be a gentleman, right? I was educated from, at home. My home training is to be a gentleman. I wasn't trained to be an asshole. Okay. Now, I wasn't. My parents weren't antisocial, so they didn't like Like, don't look at them. Don't talk to them. No, that's not the way my parents were. You know? They taught me to be a gentleman, but not to be a coward. Not to be a coward. To stand up for what I believe in. One of the things I believe in is like basic everyday manners. See you later, buddy. You're missing the best part. But have a good one, bud. Yeah, we're all safe here. Everybody's safe. Glad you came. So I'm I'm not the type to sit in a room where there's somebody who's rude and tolerate it. Like I may tolerate it depending on the scenario. If I'm at a wedding or something like that, and I know that speaking up means ruining the ceremony or whatever. See, that's part of being a gentleman, right? But there is a time and a place. There's like most time and places. If somebody is a prick, you know, they need to be called out on it, or something needs to be said in a graceful way. Because you just got to speak up. You just can't, like, I see a lot of people just standing by while people go around. They act bossy. They act like know-it-alls. And we don't know these people from Adam, man. We don't. Yeah, we are. We are. Rob, that's who we're talking about. And since this is my show, I can say whatever the hell I want, right? So yeah, so the guy, I don't know him from Adam, and I don't think a lot of people do. Now, I'll assume the guy is who he says he is, right? Or who he presents himself as. Though half of the stuff that I see, I don't understand it anyway. It doesn't make sense. So it's bottish like behavior. Yeah, right. Well, it wasn't, look, I didn't do nothing mean. All I said was, you know, uh, the guy wanted to know what dude was doing, and I don't want to say anybody's name. I'm not, the name's not gonna come out of my mouth unless they come in the room. We can talk, and I can talk names. You know, if they're in the gallery out there and they want to express their opinion, feel free to come in the chat and do so. I'm not gonna ban anybody or boot anybody for that. But my problem was that like this person pops in people's chats and doesn't express any sort of positivity. What they do is they kind of bark orders at the people who are doing the crafts people that are doing the thing. Now, I don't have a problem with you doing that. I'm going to assume that you are a craftsman like you say you are, and you've been doing this for umpteen years as you say you have. Let's assume that's all true, right? Even then, doesn't it befit you to be a kind person and polite to the people that you want to be friends with online? Despite the pseudo social scenario of being online in a live stream, let's put that aside. Doesn't it befit a person to be polite to people they want to be friends with? And it does. And actually, in some cases, this person is polite to the people that they want to be friends with. And then everyone else, it doesn't matter. But the problem is when that person becomes a mod in your chat, that they actually are gatekeeping a lot, right? They're gatekeepers of a lot of stuff. And if they're not paying attention and they're rude to the people they don't like, then the mods alienate your audience that way. You know? Dismissive and rude too. Not just rude. Let's add dismissive. Right? So dismissive can be hate is not the opposite of love. Indifference is. Right? So when someone doesn't care about your presence, your questions, or anything about your personage while you're there, that's the opposite of love. So that's what should anger somebody, not somebody being angry like I am right now. This demonstrates that somebody hurt my feelings, right? Because obviously I'm here saying something. It obviously hurts my feelings. So the person we're talking about at some point must have hurt my feelings. And they did. They did. They were rude in my chat and then said something rude about my channel, right? While I was in the chat. So this is what I mean. Like I'm happy with views. I'm happy with people being around, but I'm not going to just choose my company blindly, right? I'm not going to just If somebody's in the room and they act like an asshole, I'm gonna call them out for being an asshole. Online, in person, it don't matter to me. As I've stated many times, um, we can talk in person, we can talk on the phone. You know, I don't really care. But even today in the chat, when I brought my feelings up, I was still a gentleman about it. I didn't say anything that I thought was like mean. All I said was, good luck getting to him because he answers less than 50% of people's queries. The other day, I asked this guy a question in the chat. I said, "Hey, man, I took your advice the other day. You remember?" Never heard nothing back from him. So either he's indifferent, and it seems like when the people that he likes talk to him, he answers back in the chat. Or when I accused him of that, or when I said that, and then all of a sudden he was paying attention again. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, and Miss Heather says, very true. I stopped going a while ago because I was never acknowledged. So yeah, whoever runs your chat, and here's the weird thing about it, man, is that like, um, usually I give people a heads up when I have those kind of interpersonal issues with somebody. So like, it wasn't like I wasn't I wasn't firing dry there, Rob. Like I had let folks know that certain individuals were rude in my opinion, right? So I didn't go in there and just, it wasn't a knee jerk reaction. See, there's more behind the scenes than that. All right, so back to craftsmanship. Let's plug that thing in, but definitely much later than I usually go on. So I wouldn't attribute the low view count and stuff to anything important. And I haven't pulled any leather hides out. It's just, I don't know. And also, it's just not my time period. It's not my window. And it's probably better anyway. What do we got here? Heat gun. I want to use this thing minimally. I'm not big on any kind of grinders. Keep my hides away from that too, so metal shards don't go in there. I'm gonna put these way over here. You do not want metal going into your leather that you're making. By any stretch do you want that. I'm gonna try to get some of this color off of there too. Yep. This bad boy around. What's up, Lions? If you're looking at the hatchet and saying that thing lost weight, you're right, man. It lost a lot of weight. It's because that end was not fully attached. So, and I kind of knew that was going to have to happen. It's not like some weird surprise or anything. I'd already seen that early on. So it kind of adds a little balance to the hatchet in general, because that's a heavy piece of metal on the end. Lines, you haven't been in here, so you haven't seen the baseball stitched on. Maybe you have. I don't know. The baseball stitched squirrel leather here. Really proud of that. And in this dry, I really test that stuff too. I should probably give it a spritz or something of water. But right now, I want to get this this hatchet head, and kind of, I'm going to lean it forward a little. I get a little better light there. Yeah, man, it is what it is though. Uh, it's okay. I mean, the D-lam went like almost more than halfway through. You can't swing around something like that. It's not like it was anything I was that upset about. It's gonna add to the balance, man. It was not. It was out of balance in a lot of ways the way it was. We do have another. It looks like we have another crack here though, but it's like surface. Could have been some heat right there. Hopefully not. It does look like a crack there though. So the camera. I'm not trying to trash anybody's work, because that's not the case. But you have to be knowledgeable of. That's part of this defect right here though, and that's only like a couple millimeters, but you can see towards where the blade is, there's a tiny crack. I got to work around that there too. Um, it's gonna do what I need it to do, man. This thing is, there's a lot of metal here on this top. It's gonna be. You don't need a hatchet head this big unless you're hewing huge pieces of bark. What I need this thing to do is just take small chunks of bark and split them, and actually chunk off bark off of live trees. So yeah, I'm not that worried about that. I don't think it's a shame. It's just how it had to work, man. It was when it was wrapped around, the weld was delaminated, more than halfway through. So it wasn't joined properly, and that's the nature of the spring steel. Apparently, I'm not a bladesmith, but it's just the nature I understand of spring steel. You have to use another metal. And hopefully with the chisel, I'll be able to keep everything there. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with the chisel. So I think that was really the main piece. This was actually just like a little extra thing that Ron hooked me up with. So shout out there. Appreciate that. Nah, but like if somebody's in the room and they're being an asshole, you know, if it's gonna be just me that's gonna say something, then not just me will say something, I just like, sorry. I have low tolerance for rudeness. I do. I want this thing to kind of work like a chisel. I feel it's starting to get a little bit sharper too here. Oh yeah, it's getting sharper now. In my opinion, there's plenty of metal here to work with. I have a big hewing hatchet behind you. You can see it's rusted, but it's plenty good. I can clean that blade off if I need to do hatchet work, you know. I'm not gonna play games, especially since I actually want to show my kids how to remove bark with this and stuff. So if there's, a crack going halfway through the blade, I'm not gonna hand the hatchet to my kids. So I got to make sure it's like prepared, and it's still a good piece. It just needed to have a big chunk taken off of it. All right, so we're almost there with that. I think really, and I can feel it's getting sharper. I decided probably I would either use this case again. Here's the two options: use this case again and adjust the strap to fit the new axe, which is probably a fine idea. Nothing wrong with that, right? Put a new snap on it, or I can make a new sheath. Um, but I got to do one or the other, I think. And definitely for now, like right here, what I'll probably do, because I need to take some hides out and do some work on those too. What I'll probably do is just pin this up, because this, by the way, this is made out of raccoon leather. The strap is raccoon leather too. So we got three different types of leather on here. This handle is squirrel. The sheath here is a deer, and this strap right here is raccoon. I didn't catch it, lines. Oh yeah, man, I'm definitely confrontational as hell. I think Lions is like that too. Lions don't shy away from a conflict. It's like I won't speak for him. It's easy though because I'm here and he's in the chat and I can speak out loud and be heard and he can't. But I think it's fair to say, based on what I know of Lions, that he's not really one to sit there and probably tolerate nonsense either. But maybe my threshold's a little bit lower potentially. You know what I mean? Uh, let's since I'm gonna just alter this, I think I'm just gonna alter this head. I could sit here and sew. It's freezing cold out here, but I could sit here and sew all day. I think I'm actually gonna put this on the stone here if it didn't break yesterday when it hit the floor. And probably I could take this pouch and just um what do you call that? When you go to the tailor, cut it down a little and make it into the right shape for this little bitty thing too. It's fine when you have more material. Yeah, man. Don't give a fuck. It just, man, it's just this like you live long enough, I think, and that's why old folks like a lot of times will just give you exactly what they feel like so easily because they've lived long enough to realize that there are like a limited amount of fucks to give, man. Really, like I think I have a limited amount left. I give about like important stuff, my kids, things like that. But when it comes to like making people happy, for what? I mean, even sometimes to the detriment of whatever business. Like this is a business, believe it or not, you know. Uh, but if I have to be tolerant of assholes, then it's the wrong business for me. You know what I mean? It's the wrong. Oh, let's start with a much cruder stone here. I'm gonna get a much cruder stone if I've got one that's decent out here. What do we got? Oh, these are all. Yeah, no, that's the right one. Let's do 400. 400. And if we got to put some degreaser on this thing, we'll do it. You know what I mean? Whoa there. Guess we gotta take that off. Seems like maybe there's some like some schmutz in there. Let's give it a shot here. No, what I was saying the other day on your live stream, dude. I think this was your live stream. Yeah, I think it was. Was that, or you were in the chat for sure? Was that there is a live stream I have where I did the math and YouTube uh, got paid $95,000 for ads on this. It's crazy, right? And I made $2 on this video. That's what I was trying to say the other day. I think you may have either you were it was in Ron's and you were in the chat, or it was in yours and someone else. Maybe Ron was in the chat, but I just wanted to emphasize that the numbers there, how crazy that was. I ran it a couple times too. I was trying to make sense of it, you know. I don't want to take that down a little bit. I think part of this is going to be just this bottom plate, getting this kind of bottom part here flat. Even that feels real. Okay, that's not nothing. That's not nothing. I want to find a comfortable angle though here that's not going to grate the stone down a lot. Yeah, okay. This is a different shape than I'm like really used to. Maybe not. Maybe I kind of made it like a shape I'm used to, but I maybe need to do some work on that edge, getting that edge a little more gradual. Because I also have sandpaper over there too. I can take it over some sandpaper blocks. Sometimes that works for this stuff. I want to flatten that. I want to flatten that so bad. Probably the lengthwise way is the way I should be going after this. Oh man, hey, I spent I've spent days I think on videos, and they got like 10 views or something. Yeah, yeah. It gets bad, man. And you'll say it to somebody, and they'll be like, "You need to stop being negative because um, if you don't like making videos, this is like when I was teaching, man. The same thing. They'd be like, if you don't enjoy teaching, then it's this isn't for you or whatever. Well, some things about it make it not fun. Now the shorts, I'm just not. I don't have the answers on any of this stuff, man. It's definitely looks like I'm hitting little isolated areas. Like this is lumpy. So I wanna sand it down. Like maybe I'll use a sand like board. It's definitely lumpy right now. I think file, maybe a file would be another option. Let's move the stone off and file this just like a bunch of times with a flat file. Um, but yeah, it can be very frustrating, man. Uh, I spent months making an animated short, and I'm really proud of it. Actually, I don't. It's not no regrets at all on that one. But the fact is that it wasn't ever going to get the recognition of the time that I spent on it. It was never going to happen. Never, ever, ever. And that's I think probably I realized that. I definitely realize that now about any great work that you do, any piece of art, any kind of your swan song, your piece de resistance. And chances are that it's not going to get the recognition. No, that's right. It doesn't push creative content. Exactly right, man. And then today, when I came into my YouTube homepage, it was asking me if I wanted to promote my most recent long form video. Um, they mean pay to promote my video, and it just nauseates me. Why did I monetize if you can just buy your monetization, right? Hello, Pelado. Welcome, welcome. If I can just buy you guys' influence, why am I trying to seek that? And why am I seeking to do it the old-fashioned way? Why am I spending all this time if you guys are selling it? Pelado, what's going on, man? What's the good word? Yeah, I saw that, Pilato. I saw you said stream lab test, and then somebody in the chat says, "I wonder if he's coming back." And I read it with that because that was the tone. They looked very sad that Pilato wasn't coming back. He said, "I wonder if he's coming back," because you disappeared, man. You just disappeared. You ghosted all of those people. You said Pelado is ghost, and you dropped the mic and walked away. Pelado mic drop is what that was last night. Pelado mic drop. Let me get my diamond stone. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Like that. Ooh, yeah. Sorry, I hit him with the gutter. You like that? I just lost 35 viewers from that. All right, let's bring the stone back. Oh, there you go. So then he got rid of Streamlabs and tested out OBS. Nice. Well, what is your purpose with the tech, Pilato? What do you think the tech is going to do for you? And not a snide question, because you notice I don't do a whole lot of that. It's because it's not that we don't have the access to the tech. It's that I doubt that the tech is going to do anything for me and like live streaming. What I need is YouTube to start paying live streamers a fair wage for the time that they use on YouTube. That's a start. Or we should unionize, and you can keep receipts on that. Be the first actual international union for real. We'll say, fuck the scabs, man. Fuck the scabs. Breaking our lines. Trying to come online and make interesting content while we're the ones standing out there taking punches for them. Scabs. See how I'm getting into it? Ad friendly content, right? I've heard from you want to hear a true story about sponsorships? There was a company that expressed interest, and I want to make sure I say this in a non-pretentious, not false way, and sent an opportunity our way for something. But the company, and it's a major company, it's a huge company. Um, but the company, I like went through all of their stuff. No lie, their social media campaign, their approach to media sucks so bad. And if that's their approach, they're certainly not going to take my submission, right? If your approach to media is the old way is going to work for you, then keep doing the old way. What do you need me for? Not that I'm out of old ways. I like old ways, but the old ways that are good stuff. Not, you know, if your video looks like it was made, if your advertising videos look like they were made on HGTV, people aren't going to grab. That's not the way that the market's going right now. It's not. At least I don't see it that way. Yeah, it's like, um, I think people can sometimes get wrapped up in the tech, man, if I'm being honest. Because it's a hobby just like anything else, like woodworking, right? I bought too expensive of chisels before I was a very good woodworker, but I mean, I've got my Robert Sorby chisels. I got them probably my fourth or fifth year woodworking, and I still shouldn't have had them. I had no business with like nice framing chisels, but I bought them anyway. What did I need? Was I going to frame a house? We're going to use them. Well, I've used them since, so I'm not saying don't buy the tools. All I'm saying is sometimes, you know, first of all, we need to be honest about what we're making. what's our return on investment? What's the ROI, right? Since Pilato, I know you're an accountant. Um, if we spend $150, $200 on equipment to make our videos more accessible on another platform or whatever, and it makes us 2 cents over the next 6 months, 4 cents, then I don't see that as a learning the tech is fine. I don't see that as investment, especially when there's a dupe program like OBS. What's up, Mike? When there's a dupe program, use the dupe program. So, right, OBS being the dupe program of Streamlabs. There's no reason to complicate it and pay money for something you can get for free. And then the question exists of does that help? It's just, I have to agree with Lions that the phone, the girl yesterday on Wes's chat, she's got a lot of subscribers. She got like 37K. That's a good number. She said something about we made that video about the hide. She's like, I don't have the money for a camera like that, and I don't have the heart to tell her that it was shot on a phone. Like, I don't have the heart to tell her. You know, I'd love her to keep thinking that that was shot on an expensive camera, shot on a cell phone. There's an entire con film festival for phone made pieces, like verticals and also stuff you've made on your phone. The phone, making things on your phone is an art form. It's an art form. Using your phone to make videos is an art form. Your phone is one of the most sophisticated cameras that there is if you have any kind of a even semi recent phone. So the whole thing about cameras being better. Now, the system you make the video with, I'm just giving you my 2 cents. This is my show, right? I'm allowed to do that. So the computer you use to put your videos together, that's going to matter a lot. And I've experienced a lot of problems with having a PC, trying to go from an iPhone to a PC, and the color problems and having to put it through Handbrake and these other programs to rip it. So here's what I think about that. If you're using an iPhone, have a MacBook. In any way, probably a MacBook is the best computer, and that may be the more worthy investment. The other thing is, like, to what extent is now, and I'm seeing this crack just like looks like it's expanding, but it's pretty, man, it's looking like further and further the more I kind of dig into this thing. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I've got 3 phones, I think. Two like 11 Pro or 12 Pro Maxes, and those I use for video, various ones, and I got a 14. So yeah, having phones around. Hey Bill, how you doing, man? Welcome. Good afternoon. Yeah. Get insurance on your phone. Always get insurance on your phone, and I'll leave it at that part of that. That's Lions, man. But can we? I wish there was a way I could highlight a comment of the day. Most people don't understand that their personality is their best tool or worst enemy. Mm. Stop pause, think about that statement. Everybody take a second and think about that statement. If it could be put into a perfect, can I do that from here? Miss Heather, if you can pin that. It is just so true, Lions. So friggin' true. What do you bring? And we were talking about this the other day, right? What do you bring? Do you bring, do you inspire? Do you have charisma? Because people with charisma can inspire. Do you educate? Do you bring knowledge to the table that people want? Because that's tough now too with the internet. You can Google anything and AI can guide you through stuff. So do you educate? Do you entertain? Or do you inspire? Do you entertain? So are you funny? Can you tell jokes? I know I'm gonna start. I have a new rule for Pilato. Um, Pilato, if you tell a joke in my chat, you need to tell it on your live stream too. I want you to tell it on. I want you to tell it live. You know, it's just going to be a rule we're going to stick to. Because are you funny? Are you quippy? Do you have a personality that's magnetic? Because that is important. And developing personality does happen. I think people can develop personality over the course of their entire life. I don't think it's limited to being a child and a young adult. I don't think that's the case. I think it's something character and personality. Not that people with personality issues sometimes have character problems, because sometimes being boring is like how people have made it. How they've survived in the world they live in is if you're exciting or if you're too interesting, you get marginalized, you know. So being different is frowned upon. I always just fought against that, man. I was a natural fighter against being the same. Now, there's that, and there's tech, and there's planning too. What am I going to learn? Like, what can I make? What can I set up? What's going to grab attention? What data do I have that shows me that people like this view of me? This view of me. Do they like it when I walk in front of the camera, walk away? Do they like it when I hold the axe up like this and look at it? Do they like it when I complain about other YouTubers, Because I have lots of complaints. It's organic though. That's the thing about it is it's your choice what direction you go. And it may result in good things and it may not. That's the exciting thing about the game, y'all, is we're not guaranteed to win. It wouldn't be a game if we were guaranteed to win, y'all. It would be a win. It would be a certainty. Okay, Pilata. Pilata said, telling the jokes from your live stream chat in my lives probably wouldn't work because it would require too much setup for anyone who wasn't there to understand the joke. Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. What did I just say a minute ago, though? That was an important point. Lost on that because he was typing that box. Lost it completely. I'm much funnier playing off of other people. Whoops. Yeah, man. You gotta. It's good to have the straight guy and and have somebody who's the what do they call it, the oddball. That's the other one. Is that the other one? Yeah. So It's like the the thing about me is like I'm not gonna understand what a Gen Z kid puts in their video, the different quips and different little abbreviations and stuff they do. These kids, they put one thing on video, they can go viral that day, and they'll let it go. Like they don't even care. They're not trying to make income on it, right? They let it go because they're kids and they don't even know how to grab the bull by the horns, right? But we have to work very hard to grab attention. And I say we, that's anybody who's over their mid 20s, right? Over the age of getting on The Bachelor. This is entertainment, man. Like I said, educate, entertain, or inspire, right? Which of those things are you doing? And is the data that you're doing, like, is the research you're doing, like, are you forcing conclusions that you would come to naturally as just as part of your paradigm? Like, I'm going to come to this conclusion. It's because these people don't like me, right? YouTube doesn't like me. It's because my I need a new studio quality light. Well, some people do actually. Lighting is an issue for some folks. I need a new camera. My camera's not high enough quality. That's what it is. Once I get that camera, my views that I'm entitled to will go up to 400, like Joe Schmo around the corner, with the lathe or whatever. I get a lathe, right? And then the other day there was some commentary about acting and things like that, and how some people said I prefer to just be me. Well, that's the thing, is that it's actually those folks that say that sometimes, that drop that criticize folks that have personality or whatever, are a little different. It's those folks that you find out copied someone else, and that's what they think the approach is going to be. The path that someone else carved is not your path. That's someone else's path. I wouldn't look right making a video that said 10 ways to make a 2x4 into $200 from a 2x4. It's not true to who I am, man. I'm not money driven like that. But if I see Bearded Viking, shout out, a gentleman and a scholar, if I see his video, um, and I see that, then I'm like, man, he does so well with that. Look at him. Look how crisp everything is. It's like Mr. Beast does woodworking. And so then I see that video and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make a video called 20 ways to turn a 2x4 into $200. But it's not you. It's Bearded Viking came up with that. That's his. That's how he made his way. And it worked. And he's living off that. So what's your thing, right? What's my thing? How do you make your mark, right? It's real easy to get in line to do the things that other people do. And definitely, let me give you a good analogy right here, since Lines is probably still here listening, hopefully. Let me give you a good analogy. I don't know the exact number. I could probably Google it on my phone. But the golf equipment industry sells like billions and billions of dollars of golf clubs, gloves, golf equipment, golf clothes, all kinds of golf gear for golfers, right? In the United States. In the US, something like 95% of golfers will never shoot under 100. And that means they'll always be trash. Despite that equipment that they spend those billions of dollars on every year. Go learn to hit balls with hickory clubs. Go learn to hit golf balls with old steel golf clubs. Then get the good equipment and use it. But let me go back a second because it's not about that. What it is about is American commercialism and the feel that you need to buy the new equipment to get the results of quality product. And I think that goes against every possible thing inside of me. There are times you need to upgrade equipment and gear, but it's generally like the last thing, in my opinion. Now, if you can get it for free, like OBS, great. And especially men, especially in America, it's all about the next toy, you know. So, in the case of golf, it's not the equipment that the guys aren't getting. It's something about their swing, their posture, their flexibility, their athleticism, their eyesight, their hand-eye coordination. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Is Calvin wrong? Look at how much money is spent on golf every year, and then look at the average score. And I can tell you, I was a golf coach, and I was a decent golfer, consistently under 100. Right? I like to buy equipment too, but what I realized was I was buying laundry. You know, you buy clothes that say a name on them. You're just buying this company's laundry. You're buying an advertisement for a company. Awkward silence there. No. Mike Osborne said, "You mean we don't need a set of ping golf clubs?" That's exactly what I'm saying, Mike Osborne. I say you should go with Titleist. Titleist, thank you. Oh, Titleist sponsored this segment. Callaway Golf Club sponsored this segment. Yeah, you don't need a set of expensive clubs. My putter is very very expensive. I love my putter is the most expensive club in my bag. I got a Scotty Cameron putter. I'm super proud of it. Love it. Loved it. It is good. Beautiful putter. It is kind of a gimmick. It's a rich person's pool table. Well, rich people have pool tables too, Mike. How does that make sense? Well, the rich people I knew also had pool tables. So Lions Fix It Shop said a game of golf spoils a good walk. That is a quote from a famous author. Does anybody know who that famous author is? I'm sure we know. His birth name was Samuel Clemens. You know, most golf courses can't afford them themselves. Country clubs are a terrible business. That's why they cost so much to be members of. They're a constant drain of money. You have to maintain all of this. You got fungicide, herbicides, pesticides. You got all these sides everywhere, right? You got to use them constantly. You got to keep this grass trimmed on the green. It's a quarter of an inch, right? And you have to roll that every day too. So you have to take machinery across the course every day. You burn tons of diesel that way, tons and tons of diesel. Uses tons of fertilizer, tons of chemicals. By the way, if you ever go golfing, never put the golf tee in your mouth. Never put the golf tee in your mouth. I have not been golfing in a while, but I keep my game up by chipping occasionally. You can kind of keep your rhythm that way, and hitting with irons when I have a chance. If I'm in a more spacious area, I pull my irons out. But I haven't played a game in years. But I think I could still play because I do it often enough. Uh, just messing around when I have a few minutes, it's relaxing to me. I just hit golf. Like I got a bucket of golf balls. I bought them from the driving range, so my sons and I can hit out in the like in my folks' place. They got a little bit of land, so we'll just hit golf balls in the woods and go collect them. Yeah, I'm a former golf coach. Golf team I coached went on to be the high school state champions too. So yeah, I always just played golf for fun. It was always and I didn't have a ton of money. People would have to gift me golf games when I was younger, and I had to caddy for people. That's how I did it. Then I took my friend to a public course one time, and he became a golfer at Virginia Tech. He golfed for his first time when he was 12 or 13, and just couldn't let it go because we had such a good time. It's a fun sport. It's unfortunate that it's been, that it is treated in the way it is. But I will say that um, what's that guy's name? Justin Johnson, the American golfer, is just like a true gentleman. And there's a couple British golfers now, like Justin Rose, that I think are really good guys. Like if you're a good guy, um, and you play a gentleman's sport the right way, I think there's a lot of to golf that can be beneficial to society. But the courses just are terrible for the environment. I worked at multiple, but I worked at a country club in North Carolina for years. Um, I won't say the name. I also was a member there, but I was an employee, so it was a little different. Fun to drive the tractor though, man. Some of the equipment is actually real satisfying to use. Mike says, but you need a bass track or bass boat to fish for bass. Yeah, you need that, right? And you need to go get it from Bass Pro Shops too. You also need to make sure that you like buy the newest lure and have the newest fishing hat on. Like go get you need to go buy a Bass Pro Shops hat because if you don't wear that brand hat, the fish won't like your lures. Y'all know I'm kidding, right? Yeah, it's got to come from Cabela's. It's got to come from Bass Pro Shops. It needs to be the brand spanking newest. Your shotgun needs to have camouflage on it, man, because the birds, the turkeys can see that. The turkeys, man, the turkeys can see that, dude. You need to be all completely in camouflage, and every piece needs to be from Bass Pro Shops. We're gonna make this idiocracy, and I'm gonna turn everything into a brought to you by Carl's Jr. And Dad's workshop's all about not commercialism, right? Brought to you by Carl's Jr. I've been to Cabela's. I mean, it's fun to go in. Come on, come on. It's fun to go in every once in a while. I think Field and Stream, they're like the same. Dude, I mean, Lions, you got to come to the United States and get the experience of going into a gun shop, dude. Hell yeah. See, straight to the ammo section and back, right? So, Lions needs to come to the United States strictly for the purpose of entering a gun shop. Just even if you're against them, Lions probably still in there. Even if you're against them, and anybody from England who's in the building right now, uh, have you ever been to America? And if so, have you entered an American gun shop of any kind? Any kind, like Green Top. There's a whole bunch of them. There's this one in Petersburg, Virginia called Dances. Man, they got a breakfast counter in there. It's a gun shop, one shop stop, one stop shop for guns and breakfast. Just come in there and just fake your best American accent that you can, you know, and see if you walk out with something nice, you know. And then, I don't know how you get it. You would never get it back to England. All right, Calvin says follow all your local and federal laws. That's my official statement. I mean, when I walk into those places, it does feel like, oh. Sometimes when I go to the Walmart sporting goods section, it feels like that. Ooh, sorry, that was stupid. Sorry, Hatchet. Man, that was a bad move. Yeah, like the Walmart here in this town. I won't say the name of the town. Those of you who know me know. Yes, you have to have a complete set of every chisel you have needs to be manufactured by Mr. Robert Sorby and have his name inscribed on it. You need all your electronic tools need to say Festool on them and be made in this exact same factory as the Ryobis, but you don't know it. They just like the employees go home and then the night shift after Ryobi is Festool, right? Day shift is Ryobi, night shift is Festool. How do y'all feel about that? Day shift is Chicago, right? Night shift is DeWalt. No, I like DeWalt. Let's take them off of it. Let's take DeWalt out of it. They're a good company. Well, CNC, that's specifically for doing the same business as 5 billion other people on eBay. So you don't want to forget your CNC because you got to do that same business as 5 million other people. We're blessed sign on the wall, right? That you can definitely get from Walmart, but you order from your friend's cousin because you heard they're really struggling for money. And so you order that we're blessed sign from them, right? But if you don't get that word of mouth, man, what are you going to do? You're in the most saturated business ever. All you do is you cut signs with people's names in them. Man, tough. Shit guns sounds horrifying. What? We have them there, but two, but air guns and oh, shotguns. Shotguns. Okay, all right, yeah. Yeah. You guys have smooth bore. Of course, Miss Heather has to be a smart ass. I'm like, what is a shit gun, Miss Heather? I'm gonna get banned off YouTube for saying that. I think I'm actually getting somewhere with this. Trying to kind of come to a point, like kind of literally here, uh, where I can sharpen it, polish it. But I think I might have to give it like another bevel, kind of like on the, I don't know. We'll see. I need to see how it operates, how it works. That's where we're at right now. Y'all see that? Yeah, I was just wondering what she meant when she said shit guns, because I was like, what? It does sound horrifying. That does sound horrifying, man. You know, when I set that hatchet down on the table, it bit, so it is getting a kind of a sharper edge here. That was 1,000 grit there. I'm gonna move up. Oh, Mike is making stuff says that I can account. I can count on Facebook Marketplace for about 20 bucks a week off of. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That is, if he's telling the truth, it doesn't matter. If he's joking, he's right. It is true. There has to be truth in a joke. That's what makes it funny. But it's just like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, lines. But over here, there's like this bougie, kind of like bougie, like suburban upper lower middle class vibe where people get these stupid signs. And no offense to anybody who has those signs around. And there's a bit of, I would say, a budding business, but it's a horrible business because nobody makes money. They're always competing with each other. It's super saturated on eBay of these people who have CNC routers. You may be aware of this. I may be telling you something you know already, and maybe they have that in England too, because we all are English speaking people, and sometimes we have the same stupidities. I will. Hold on one second. I'm not sure this part of the stone here is going to cooperate with me. This one, that grape seed oil got in there. All right, so this is not going to be a multi-use hatchet. This is going to be a bark hewing hatchet. So you see, that's my blade right now. I'm going to try to work with that. I think I can get that sharp. I was thinking about making it like convex today, but I was like, man, I don't want to overthink it and make it too hard. But I'm kind of happy with this tool. It's definitely nice in the hand too, guys. Nice in the hand. I'm gonna have to get me a forge, dude. There's too much forging I need done, you know? And I'm not talking about checks. I mean like this doesn't feel good here. Oh, let me get a little. That's deer leather right there that I'm using as a strop. I want to use this. I like this diamond stone. I've had good results with this. This is one my dad's had, I think, since he was little, and I kind of borrowed it from his shop, so to speak. Hey, Carrie. I think we're okay. How are how you guys? You guys are way up there in Pacific Northwest. Yeah, bougie, bourgeois. You know, aspiring to a higher social class. I think is the definition of that. It's the French meaning of the French word, I believe. The French word just means like middle class, I think. Bourgeoisie, but in American, the slang term bougie. You know, I want to take a degreaser to this. Got some over there. Hold on, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna put a degreaser on that stone. I want to get some of the schmutz out of here. I feel like it can give me some. I always say if you're gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla. Hit them with the heavy engine degreaser, right? That's what I wash my face with in the morning, man. New York Yankees. Yes, those Pilato, the ones that are unwilling to do the work. Those ones too. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's what it comes from, bourgeoisie. I think the French meaning is a little different than the way it's the connotation in English. Man, look at that. Is this supposed to be that shiny? We have a problem here? Someone tell me. Is that a heat problem there? Can y'all see? It's not very. Y'all see that? Dang, I don't think you can. It's like right under the chat. It's like got an odd texture, but it may just be how spring steel is, but maybe has something to do with the temper. I don't know. It's funny. It's just interesting looking right now. And maybe because these stones are like kind of in the polish range. Maybe I should be with more. It should be more grit right now, or excuse me, a more crude grit. Northerners. Only problem with Mike's live last night was one of the guys on the panel. All right, what was going on with one of the guys on the panel? Did he was he like boring or something? Did he um did he offer anything? He just didn't come to the table with anything to offer. Is that what it was? It does, doesn't it? It's yeah, it has like a grainy color followed by a polished chrome. It looks like a polished chrome, man, and it's nothing I've seen when I've ever sharpened a tool. You know, I'm not a metal worker. Like I'm not good with metal, but I have a lot of metal tools, and I've done the basics to keep my tools up, and I've never seen that. Like it's polished like chrome. Maybe it's from me. Oh, maybe it's from the strop. I don't know. Could have been the strop that did that. Let me see. Nah, I'm not sure it was that. Seems like we got two different textures of metal going on. Is what it looks like to me. Yeah, let me show if I can show the camera so you can see towards the tip. It could have to do with how I dealt with it. I maybe got it too hot. I don't know. All right, so it's kind of hard, and I don't want the light to interfere. But let's put it up here, and you can maybe see. You see how? Does that help? Y'all see that grainy end? Very much like brushed steel, and then this bit right here is like chrome. And I can't figure out why I would have those two different textures right now. There's a little bit of a crack here, but it's not very far. You don't see that? That's what I'm working with at the moment. Yo, yeah. The term case hardening in leather is like a really bad thing. Ava, Ava in the house. I didn't get to making the case yet. I don't think I'm gonna get to that, but I will say I'm learning a little bit. Hey, Steve, welcome. Hey, Steve. Um, why does that happen? Steve can answer this question if he's in here. Why does that happen? What happened with the chute's bowl breaking in the lathe? It looked like it was burled wood, maybe, or spalted wood, and it broke right at one of those veins. But maybe Steve can tell us what happened with the Shoop's bowl that just got thrown the other day in their short a crack. Okay, it caught on the cloth. Interesting. Cold here. What Carrie say? Oh, it is getting sharper. Good. We are getting there. All I needed to do was minimal work, man. Just minimal work. You know, just cracking some bark up. It's a good experience too with doing the baseball stitch and the leather on the handle. Now that I can do that, I can work leather around forms, which I think is a skill that I'm gonna be happy to have. Um, so yeah, I'm psyched about that part of it. I do have some hides here I want to pull out and take a look at. I pulled them out of the oak tannin baths, and they are now sitting in a. They sat in a brain emulsion over last night, uh, and so I'm gonna take a look at those. We'll take a look at them together if you stick around. This is Dad's Workshop. My name is Calvin. Take a water break here in a second, then I'll pull those hides out. We'll take a look at those. I won't bother you all night though. Did want to point out what Lion said there. Most people don't understand, and I won't say the quote that it's more about the personality and character that you bring. You can check that quote out. I think that's more important. I think a lot of people think it's more about tech and being nice to everybody. It's not about being nice. It is good to be a kind person, but it's not about being nice to everybody, and it's not about having the tech. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. My name's Calvin. My readers on, make sure I'm not doing it. See what we did with those. I had to put them far away from that metal stuff. You don't really want. I probably don't even want this stone out, to be honest. I'm going to use a two-prong approach to wringing these hides out. And they need to be wrung out, they need to be rinsed out, and then they need no more moisturizer, more brain emulsion put on them. In the meantime, I want to move all of this stuff out the way here and not have metal fragments and various things on top of any kind of animal hide that's been in tannins. If you mix that with ferrous metals, metal fragments, sherds of metal of any kind, which I probably will contaminate to some extent anyway, but you do that and you don't pay attention and you end up with a lot of black spots. So let's do this real quick and then I won't. Hey, Pelado, thank you for the super chat. Hey, man, that's how we live around here. So love that and putting the heart on there and then liking it also. Appreciate the super chat, man. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. All right. What do we got here first? This is buckskin. Oh, what is that? Who just sent 10 memberships? People don't just randomly do that. Who did that? Who did that? Who just did that? Mike? Mike. That's very, very kind. Appreciate that, man. Look at these new members. Hey, Steve's a member now. Big Dog, Mustache, Tammy Fleming, Heidi Shoop. Can't pronounce. Oh, Trouble Chaos. BK's back being a member. That's good. I'm glad. Shot Guy 01, Jonathan Jackson, Josh D. Sweet, man. Sweet. That's awesome, Mike. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. That was very thoughtful. And I know you know, everything ain't super easy right now. So that's awesome, man. Thank you so much. What a generous gift from Mike. My God, man. My guy. Get back into this live. Now, Heather thinks these smell bad. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Let me tell you all the bad, nasty kind of a story. Mike is awesome. Mike is awesome, man. Appreciate that, man. So these smell bad, kind of, but not to me. They kind of just smell like a little musty. And let me tell you why. All right, I'll tell you why they got a little on the musty side. They got musty because I had a deer face that was sitting in tannins for a long time. It should have been tended to better, and I wasn't tending to it properly. So it basically rotted in the bottom of the tannins, which may end up making good leather out of it because I didn't throw it away. And that's part of the problem. I put it in with the other leather, and it kind of fouled up the smell of everything. But it's not the worst smell in the world. It's like up there. It's not a great smell, but it's not on everything equally. It's kind of spread out amongst different things. So here's what I'm hoping. I am hoping that I can exorcise this smell from these hides over the next couple weeks as I start to work on this piece of buckskin. Is going to be part of my apron. I want to say, I need to do a drum roll for Mike for those memberships and for the super chat from Pilado. Those are a super big deal, so that's not a small gift. Let me do a Mike drum roll. Every time I do these, they end up the highlight. Drum roll for Mike for those. Sorry for the feedback there. The phone. Got to find those two little. There's one. There's two. Mike, thank you so much. Hey, did somebody turn the snare off? Why does it feel like there's no snare? Oh, that's why. Thank you to Mike is Making Stuff for his generous donation of 10 memberships. Thank you, Mike is Making Stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so stanky little bit of a stanky bath. Mike Osborne is here to tell Heather. So I have Mike Osborne in the chat to tell Heather that the stink will go away. You know, he's here. So tell her. Tell her the stink will go away. She'll believe you. Oh yeah, Mike, that's a good idea, Mike. We should do a handmade leather drum like with rawhide. That drum I have over there, I could have faked it with that, but it's like they literally use like a scorpion carve this whole thing out by hand. It's from Africa. Let me get over here, but we should, man. That is a consideration. I saw a YouTube video of a guy who made like an inverted router and built a drum set out of solid oak, and it's insane, man. It was one of the most brilliant woodworking pieces, maybe the most brilliant I've ever seen in my life. That he's like a high school age kid. Incredible, man. And he had to devise all the basic. Oh, just lost my slicker. That's maybe why they call it that. So I have this roll of cork under the table here too, and this cork roll, yeah, he made this inverted router where you put the so he took slats almost like a cooper. Maybe he's like from a family of coopers or something. Coopers, those are people who make barrels. Um, See, woodworking is lots of different trades. Uh, he did this router that he built, and he just would spin the things around, and the router, like he built the wheels and stuff. It's almost as good as the time that I saw the guy use the metal lathe to like, I think he like, or yeah, like he built everything for this entire project, including the fabricating all the metal, which was crazy. But anyway, the kid, and it was the drum set was amazing. Probably heavy. Yeah, I didn't even think about the Cooper factor. Each drum was like almost like a barrel to a certain extent. Making emoji using whatever means necessary, woodworking, carving, resin, whatever. Those all sound like woodworking stuff. Just making emoji. I'm listening, Mike. Hey, double tap that screen though. Like this video. Thank. I want to say thanks to Mike. Is making stuff again for that great gift right there. Awesome gift to Dad's Workshop, man. And shout out to Mike, man. My go-to guy for a lot of stuff. Like if I'm thinking about something, I have an idea, or some crazy shit pops in my mind, I'll just like bother Mike with it. I got a couple of people I do that too, man. I'll be like, all right, check this out. Boom. Here it is. And sometimes it's crazy rants too. So, shout out to Mike for tolerating me doing that. Uh, yeah, this is combination tan buckskin right here. So it's been oak tanned. It's also been in brains. That's why it's nice and hydrated right now because it just sat in a brain liqueur overnight. So it's actually a nice piece of leather. But here's what we are going to do now. I am going to show you that, show you these other ones real quick since it's freaking freezing out here. And I'm going to get out of your hair. Yeah. So Mike said many trades fall under that now: carpenter, joiner, shipwright, wheelwright, cabinet maker, cooper, turner, bodger, carver, luthier, pattern maker, sawyer. I'm trying to think of anything in there that you missed. Millwright. Millwright. Um, what's another one? What's one I saw the other day? What is the person that I said it was a fowler? What did a fowler do, Heather? This is something I figured out the other day. Yeah, it's an umbrella. Woodworker is a really big term, man. Super big term. This right here is grain on leather with some really big problems with the grain. You can see these are portions of it's cold out here, so little bits of that brain liquor you can see almost, and I'm not here to gross people out, but sometimes little pieces of it you can see. I am the most unscared of brains person you will ever find. They do not scare me. Super good for your skin, guys. So that's a thing. Yeah. So this has a very strong. It has a strong like fermented. Um, I think fermented is a nice way to say it. Yeah. Farrier, that's another one right there. But farrier is typically a metal worker, right? Because they hoove horses. So a farrier, a blacksmith, um, they would overlap sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, farrier is typically a metalworking job, but it's also a cool thing to bring up, okay? Um, I just figured this out the other day. It was um, huh, I can't think of it. Sawyer, and we did the millwright. I think that's the only one I can think of is millwright. This is my first piece of grain leather here. So I'm still treating them. See, I'm not giving up on one treatment with fats and oils and stuff. You got to keep treating them while they're going through the drying process to try to keep them up like that. Bye, Carrie. We love you too. Take care. Thank you, Carrie. I got to bring these inside before all of that material solidifies. She's going to hate me for that because they got to go inside, I think. But yeah, what you're looking at is several almost completed hides that have been tanned that are now in a fat substance that is often referred to as fat liqueur, not fat liquor. Stop saying stuff like that. Yeah, they were careers. That's right. Very specialized careers. Um, you know, in woodworking. You know, I think a saddler would be a combination of woodworking and leather working, uh, because you're having to work a horse. Like you have to have not, and I don't mean a physical horse. I mean like the pommel. You got to work certain things that are wood. Yeah. Yep. Awesome stuff too. Awesome stuff. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Mike. Everybody, check out Mike. I'm gonna send Mike a care package in the next couple days. He's gonna get a good one. He deserves it. Thank y'all for being here. My name is Calvin. You have been at Dad's Workshop, and hey, we will be back on Monday. Of course, we take the Sabbath off around here. We take Sunday very seriously. Nah, it's just got to have a day off. And shout out to everybody who does take the Sabbath. Good for you. You see how moisturized my hands are? Good for you. Do the next right thing. Chill out. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Try to stay safe. Try to stay warm. And we'll see you later. Y'all have a great one. Take care.